In the beginning, everything slept, mingled within an egg that breathed silently. When the shell cracked, Pangu awakened its chest, compressed by darkness. He raised his axe and, with a blow that became the horizon, separated the light from the heavy. The sky rose. The earth became firm. For millennia, he grew a jang a day, supporting the gap with his arms so that nothing would be confused again. When he finally fell, exhausted, his breath became wind, his voice thundered, his eyes became sun and moon. From his veins grew rivers, from his hair forests, from his entire body geography. They say the mountains still hold the spine of the first giant, and that when the earth creaks, it is the old bone remembering the effort of creation. Separation requires strength, but also sacrifice. And the newly formed world soon learned, everything that breaks, sooner or later, must be mended.
After Pangu fell asleep in stone and root, heaven grew too still. Nuwa was walking among new rocks when she felt the voices disappear. She knelt by a lake and, with wet clay, molded curious faces. She breathed life into them, and human laughter echoed for the first time. But creation was not stable. The firmament split open. The waters rose like teeth. Villages were lost. Nuwa did not weep. She worked. She fused 5 colored stones, wove them into liquid light, and mended the sky, raising columns and dominating rivers. Some say the rainbow is a golden scar left by her hands. The cosmos breathed, and humans, standing, began to ask one another, "Now that the world has been saved, how should we live within it?"
It was from this question that Fuxi was born. With his ear to the wind and his hand ready to draw, he taught domestic fire, the marriage that unites clans and does not destroy them. But his greatest gift came by chance. Upon seeing a turtle rise from the river, he read in the marks on its shell, broken and unbroken lines, the code of destiny. Thus were born the trigrams, the oracle of the I Ching. The fisherman began to listen to the weather before casting his net, the villagers to consult the heavens before harvesting. To civilize was to understand that the universe speaks and that man can respond. But balance requires margins. Where there is rule, there is a force that tries to break it. And when the rivers rose again, came the roar of those who brooked no restraint.
Gong Gong was born from the roar of the floods. His body was a current, his head ancient pride. He charged Mount Buzhou, pillar of heaven, and the blow twisted the world. Since then, the waters have flowed eastward, and the stars seem to hang. The civilization of Fuxi bowed before the chaos. Villages disappeared, paths changed. But Gong Gong was not pure fury. He was a reminder that all order must heed what it represses. Nuwa returned to mending, and the men, tired of losing homes, learned to build dikes. The catastrophe taught prudence, and in the smoke of reconstruction, a new power was ignited, one that burned and protected at the same time.
Zhurong rose from the coals as authority. He didn't set fire, he illuminated. Gong Gong's rival, he brought boundaries to the flames. Here he cooks, there he forges, there he purifies. Under his command, fire ceased to be a beast and became law. When he faced the floodwaters, the battle wasn't destruction, it was engineering. He channeled vapors, dried swamps, warming the world instead of burning it. The flame became civilization. But man, seeing the spark rise, dreamed of the sun itself. And among those who worshipped him, a giant decided to chase the star.
Kuafu woke with his throat parched with light. When he saw the sunrise, he decided to reach it, as if promising his body an eternity. He ran day and night, drinking rivers, draining lakes, until thirst overcame his flesh. Where he fell, new streams sprouted, gifts of his ambition. He did not fail, he fertilized. The people learned that effort also shapes the earth, even when they don't reach their destination. But the lesson of the race sparked another question. If the mind is lost, what continues to fight? The answer would come from a faceless warrior.
They say Xingtian challenged the throne and paid with his head. But defeat didn't teach him to stop. He reorganized himself. His nipples became eyes, his navel his mouth. He raised his axe, wielded his shield, and danced war as if his entire body were will. Xingtian is the symbol of stubbornness that transcends form. He doesn't want to reign. He wants to prove that meaning doesn't depend on the face. For centuries, his name has ignited rebels, reminding them that man can remake himself. But the world doesn't live on challenges alone. It's necessary to plant after the battle, to discover the flavor of the healing leaves. And that's how the spirit bent over the soil.
Shen Nong heard the echo of wars and chose to listen to the earth. With a wooden plow and a father's patience, he drew lines in the soil and brought forth food where morning once lived. He taught planting, harvesting, rotating. He tasted herbs, hundreds, taking the poison so others would know what heals. Boiling leaves over stones, the scent rose, tea was born. Hunger eased, fever yielded, and time acquired a ritual. And in the fields that gleam under the sun, the memory of the Titans breathes. Pangu separates, Nuwa mends, Fuxi teaches, Gong warns, Jurong balances, Kuafu dreams, Xingtian persists, and Shen Nong harvests. The world still stands, for now.